Hello, Internet every peoples. Welcome once again to another hot installment of Polly's Peep Show. Today we are looking at Never Stop Sneakin. This is the hot new release from Humble Hearts, aka Dean Dodrell, of Dust and Elysian Tale fame. And if you never played that game, stop what you're doing right now, hop over to Steam and grab yourself a copy of Dust and Elysian Tale because it is fantastic. And we're going to be looking at Never Stop Sneakin. It's the new release. It's been out on Switch now for a couple months, I believe. And it kind of just hit Steam out of nowhere. Last week, I've played through, I'm going to guess, the majority of it, given that my save file says 95%, and I've gotten most of the unlocks. But this is a top-down stealth action game with an incredible sense of humor. I've got to put that first and foremost. This game has an incredible sense of humor. It's got great writing, that stuff's top notch. It lampoons Metal Gear Solid, spy films. It's got a great little story that unfolds as you play that I really enjoy. But we're going to take a look at the gameplay. We're going to see how this kind of all fits together. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into the game. And this is near mid-game. I probably should have used a save file that was maybe a little earlier in the game or just started from the beginning. But we'll get into this screen a little later. This screen is kind of how you manage your progress through the game, but it's not where you're going to be spending most of your time. We are going to begin our next objective, which is to steal the time chip. Make us proud, Agent. As you can see, very Metal Gear Solid-y, and I'm carrying around a bomb and beating people with it. That is just a character skin. So, to kind of go over the general mechanics of this game, it's all played with just an analog stick, or just moving around or clicking on the screen, and it'll adjust dynamically to all of that on the fly, which is not a problem. When you see little icons like this, these are hackable objects. You go to, and you get ESP, which stands for espionage, which is experience. We've got 8 of those now. You'll see up at the top left. At the top right, we have an indication of how much ammo we have. We got one shot. We got one bullet. Good talking there. And we have various grenades that we use when we're spotted. So given that this game is only played using the control stick, it means I can just run up to this guy and just bop into him East style, which is not a problem. And the way you use weapons is they're more of a just like, hey, it's a free get out of jail free card. Pop. I just shot that guy. And he coughed up a key card, which that is going to be put to use here in just a couple of moments. Let's pop up here. Bump system that guy to death. So, key cards open doors like these. You pop in. You hack it the same way you would any other terminal you find laying around, and they usually have these bigger terminals that you can hack, and you walk up to it, you hack it, and you get perks. So I've got a key tracer, which tells me what guards have keys for the duration of this entire mission. So when you go in and you're going through the normal gameplay loop of things, it works a bit like a roguelite. It's something like, I think I compared it on Twitter to something like Rogue Legacy, where each run is its own contained thing, and all of the bonuses and stuff that you acquire throughout the course of it, such as extra ammo, you can get some really cool things like stealth camouflage, just a lot of really awesome stuff. I got some pretty broken stuff earlier that basically kills every enemy on the screen. Like, it's just straight up an I win button. You can't lose. Those are temporary upgrades, and when you go back in again, which is a big part of what Never Stop Sneakin is... Oop, get out of there. Packages are just kind of add to an end of the level multiplier. But those are temporary. The perks that you get, they can be purchased, they can be found, just kind of, and what ties into your overall progress is the ESP you gather while you're on missions, and that part of the game, I guess I'm kind of not a fan of, because I'll explain it a bit more as we go along, but I kind of feel that maybe a little bit of the game feels maybe not fully realized to some degree. There's something I feel is missing in this game, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't think it's bad. I've had a good bit of fun. Like, I'm not going to play a game for 13 hours and not had some kind of good time with it, whether it be just throwing it on to grind out ESP for upgrades, for progression while listening to podcasts and watching streams and what have you. But it's kind of like, this game's kind of like the actual stealthing portion. There's this flow to it that's very simple. There are only 3 types of enemies in the game. We've seen the soldiers. The next portion will introduce surveillance cameras, which can be taken out with a gun, or they can be taken out with EMP grenades. Again, that's only if you are seen. And the game kind of shows you what it's doing within the first hour or so. You kind of get the idea. It's just, the more you progress, the faster enemies get, or the longer their patrol routes become. So, and enemy counts get a bit more dense. But it's very, very, I still think comparable to something like Rogue Legacy, with everything being self-contained. All of the stages are randomly generated in a pretty quick amount of time. You'll come to notice, like, how all of the pieces fit together, or, you know, like, it's not hard to nail down the various bits of randomness in this game, because there's not a whole lot of things in the pool, it feels like. And again, that's no statement on the quality of the game, because I do think that there are a lot of cool things going on here. It's just, I kind of feel like this game really hits its stride when you are much later in the stages. Like, when you get to floor 4-1, that's like when I feel like this game kind of hits a stride, where the enemy counts are a lot more dense, and it's easier to kind of start making stealth situations real twitch-based, where this gets way faster, and you've got to weave in and out of these surveillance cones, and, you know, you're making your build with these randomized upgrades, a la a Binding of Isaac run, maybe, where those kind of have a tendency to start slow too. But that's, you know, it just kind of all, it works, and I like it, but I feel like, again, like maybe it's a little underbaked. So we're gonna do a boss battle, and this is a boss battle with Dr. Acula. And boss battles work in a way where they will tell you how to defeat the boss by providing you the information under their life bar. So I've got to turn on these lights and hope Dr. Acula runs into them. Obviously, the more lights that I have on, the better chance I have of that happening. I'm gonna take that. There we go. So we got 3 lights open. Dr. Acula will take damage from hitting the light, and for you running up and easing them to death. And basically all boss fights kind of have a very simple mechanic like this. Most of them are simply just kind of hide behind the crates for a bit, and you'll be okay. And then just run out and knife them. And this will be the end of Dr. Acula. So there's that. A very snazzy little, and then usually once you finish a stage, you'll get a thing here with an unlock that'll do something like, see, this will give me a permanent upgrade to all of the ESP that I get at the end of a mission, whether I extract or whether I actually complete the full number of stages available to me. We're not going to be doing a full run here. We're going to go ahead and extract. You can extract at any time, by the way, and you always keep anything you found. So you're not really penalized for failing or anything at all. You don't lose anything. You get to keep. The only thing you lose is that run, which is really no big deal. There's a shot. I'll go ahead and get to the next stage so we can see the final enemy type. I'm just going to rush it here. I will rush an attack, given that I'm using a knife. Or I'll pop that guy in the face. One or the other. It's not a long stage because there's only one package to find on it, so... And that's kind of like everything here, is like it's all small, bite-sized challenges, and it's real easy to kind of pick up and put down. So this 2-2 will always be a stage that is nothing but turrets. So turrets, if you're in their line of sight, they will damage you, or if you have an EMP grenade, you'll just use your EMP grenade. And all the doors that would normally be locked by a key card, see, I'll just go ahead and use an EMP grenade there. All the doors that would normally be locked will just be open because turrets and surveillance cameras don't give key cards. But this is kind of like a stage where you can kind of see like how when you're able to go on a long stealth killing spree, that's when this game really feels alive, and it takes its sweet time getting there, and I feel that it kind of does so in ways that aren't the most super duper fun. So first we're going to go ahead and extract here. We're going to go back to the menu we were on before to kind of explain how progression works here. And this is the kind of menu you will be greeted with when you either complete a mission, die, or extract, is you'll get your bonus ESP times the multiplier that you've earned. And then you're popped back here to manage your base. So the next thing I need to do is steal the time chip, but I can't do that. I need to find it. And then I need to have enough ESP to build this next thing. So all of the base building stuff is really just gated progression, because you start out only having access to stages 1-1 through 1-3, and as you progress further up this very long and exhaustive chain, you start getting access to 2-2, from stages 2-1 to 2-3, 3-1 to 3-3, 4-1 to 4-3, 5-1 to 5-3, and I assume 6-1 to 6-3 is the finale. I haven't gotten that far yet, but these don't always really give you anything. There's a lot of flavor text, like recon submarines can slip in and out of enemy territory with ease, getting us high fidelity intel without putting Sneakin agents at risk, but you don't really get anything for that. It's just kind of peppered with small amounts of flavor text. You'll get really nice cutscenes every hour or so. It just kind of depends on how fast you are at building up your ESP and building these parts of the base. And these will also add more random perks to the pool that can be bought or found in keycard rooms. But overall, it's just kind of, it feels like I hate to say it, but it feels like the game has padded itself out way too much, and it's stretched the content far too thin. When I've seen all of the gameplay loop and all of the tricks that it can throw at me within the first hour, and the only difference is everything getting faster, I just kind of feel this could have been much shorter. I'm still going to finish it, and I'll probably talk about it on the podcast next time we do one, and maybe my opinion will have changed by then, but at 95% finished with the game, it's kind of hard to see how this one's going to pull a big one out of the old back pocket before then. But this is Never Stop Sneakin'. Like I said, it's not the worst way to spend 15 bucks, but it's also, you kind of got to know what you're getting into. Like I said, in the first hour, you're going to have seen everything other than the really well done cutscenes and the fun story that it has in store. I also forgot to mention real quick that you saw that my character was carrying around a bomb and beating people over the head with it. This is another way that you get unlocks in the game is through your loadout. You get a number of characters. I'm not going to show them all and spoil them in case that's something that people don't want to be spoiled over. But all of this stuff is just skins. None of these have any effect on gameplay whatsoever. It's just cosmetic. But that's kind of like the extent of the kind of unlocks that this game has. So that will do it for this Peep show. This has been Never Stop Sneakin'. If you're interested in checking it out, there's a link down in the description. And I'll catch you next time. Y'all have a good one.